Hey everybody, Vulsker here. Long time no see. So, over the last couple months, I've been reading a couple comic series and arcs. You guys are pretty much familiar with it if you check out my channel, or if you're new here. Definitely check out some of the past videos with some of the issues I've been reading. So, two big things in Marvel has recently happened. One, Absolute Carnage is came to an end right at the tail end of 2019. And then the next big arc was supposed to be set up with Marvel's Incoming. The oversized 100-page murder mystery. And boy, is it kind of worthless. So between these two, I don't know which one disappointed me more. So, let's talk about it. Alrighty, so let's go ahead. Let's start with the Absolute Carnage. So I'm holding issue 5 right here, which oddly is not actually the last issue. There was actually one more Venom issue to kind of wrap everything up, even though number 5 was supposed to be the end of the main story. So, let me paint a picture here. And these will have some spoilers, so FYI, I'm going to try to keep them to a minimal, but I want to talk to you a little bit about my opinion on why it disappointed. The main thing here is you're looking at an arc that goes over about 29, 30 different issues. You have 1 through 5 of Absolute Carnage. Then you have Symbiote Spider-Man. Then you have a couple of the other Spider-Man issues. Then you have Miles Morales. Then you have Ghost Rider. Then Captain Marvel, Immortal Hulk, Venom, and then a couple of the Lethal Protectors. So you got a wide variety of heroes, franchises, and a lot of fucking issues. To come down to mainly this issue, everything that all these heroes have gone through, and it's a 50-50 split. So, up to this point, hundreds of different heroes, villains, they've been infected with the symbiote. So the codexes are inside of them, which for those who are following it or who have not, the main point of this arc is Carnage is hunting down everybody that has or has had a symbiote, because a codex is implanted into their DNA in their spine. So he is literally going out and ripping people's spines out and absorbing these codexes. And once he gets enough, he can unleash the symbiote god from the symbiote planet, and he will come wreak havoc and destroy Earth and every other universe. Pretty typical. Well, so when you get to number 5, which is once again the second to last issue, but the one that's supposed to be bridging the whole story together and getting to that climax, you literally get down to a very mediocre fight. It felt rushed. Like everybody got to New York and then one issue was done. You didn't get to, like, this probably should have been a large issue. Like, this would have benefited from being the size of Incoming, because then you really could have done a lot here. But you get it, you start fighting, the symbiotes flip-flopping, Eddie Brock loses his, he's worthless, and then what he does is absorb the Carnage symbiote from the container that they had the heroes' codexes removed, and then he becomes part Venom, part Carnage. He wins the fight. Heroes think we win, but in reality, in his mind, he's being told by Carnage, "You fucked up. Now you have single-handedly woken the god, and he's on the way." Cutscene. So, all these issues to fight a problem that was oncoming, and they caused the problem, and then you end on a cliffhanger. Like, that's it. Nothing else. The last issue, which is the Venom, I believe it's Venom 21, or 20. Basically, it's more along the lines of just him talking to the Avengers. They want him to be an Avenger now, but you see that Carnage is actually in him, so he's Venom, Carnage, and Eddie, so he's actually threesome now, and Carnage does have powers to kind of push and pull him a little bit more than Venom has over the years, because they've got a little acquainted with each other, and then that's about it. The next issue, which was the issue 1 of Venom Island, to me, did a lot more in that one issue than this whole storyline. It's just so disappointing, so anticlimactic, and honestly, being my first large comic arc, it's like, what the hell was I doing? I should have just bought 1 through 5 of Absolute Carnage, and then read the rest on, comicbookreading.com, or wait and just get some digital copies. Like, it was pointless to spend, on average, $4 to $6 an issue for 30 issues to come out looking like, what the fuck? Could have gave me a paragraph and I would have got a lot more out of this arc, which is very, very disappointing. Now, I will say, reading it has given me, honestly, I really, really enjoy looking at a lot of the symbiotes and the history, and they're honestly, when Eddie and Carnage are on the page, like, it's really badass. Throw Spider-Man in there, so it does make me want to go back and read some of the prior story arcs, even some of the Venom issues prior to this, so I can get a little bit more understanding of where Eddie was at the beginning, which is, for those who don't know, he has a brother, son, whatever you want to call him, up until the point where the son finally realizes he's his son. Eddie is old. He doesn't have the symbiote at the beginning. Like, there's a whole lot of things that lead up to this that would be interesting. And of course, like Maximum Carnage and all the old school storylines that were really top notch, because this was supposed to be the spiritual successor of that, and I feel very, very let down, and I hope to God Maximum Carnage didn't end the same way. Even though this arc does throw a lot to all the past issues of anything that included the symbiote, because that's what leads up to the codexes and why Carnage is hunting everybody, heroes and villains, down for it. So, 1 through 5 will do you a lot better. You don't need to read the outside issues. There are a couple good ones. I'd give the whole overall arc, honestly, a 6 out of 10. Yeah, it's sad. But, now that brings us to incoming. So, during the releases of all the issues of the Absolute Carnage, I think some of the X-Men and House of X, Powers of X, did the release just recently. So it was, as you can see, a bloody hand, shock of horror all over any remotely hero in different franchises. X-Men, Spider-Man, Venom, you have Hulk, Nova, Captain Marvel, Thor, Jubilee, is it Ghost Spider or Spider-Gwen. It's just, so they build this to be some massive, like, hey, this is going to be the fucking future. Here's what's going on. Who got murdered? Now everybody's trying to find out what's going on, find out who the culprit is, and who this, who did it. Let's leave it there. And when you start getting into it, you look at the person, you're like, who the hell is this? Like, it literally starts going into a New York loft, and somebody is face down on his floor and dead. Um, okay. Well, nearly 90 something pages later, you finally identify that this person really has no significance at all. And honestly, really hasn't been mentioned since the Phoenix saga. So it's like, what? So let me paint a picture here. You got an oversized $9.99 issue. It has numerous different characters. Now, this is where it goes strong, is it actually has different artists, different stories, and it's like a combination. Think of like, was it Marvel 1000 that recently came out? So it literally, changes up some of the artwork mid story is different. People have their hands in the pot. So you start with the murder, then it goes into a little bit slightly different artwork style for Daredevil and Elektra, who Daredevil's not really Daredevil anymore. I'm not sure quite about what that's about. And then it goes into some of the X-Men, which is based off of the House of X, Powers of X story that we're dealing, the Dawn of X. Then you have some Spider-Man. Then you have, I believe, at one point, some Fantastic Four, some Immortal Hulk. And then you get to some other characters I'm not too familiar with, who do kind of come into play at the end in terms of secret missions and leading the Skrulls and Kree. And overall, once you're done, you're looking at an issue that had a really completely insignificant character to the point where my brother D Square and the owner of the comic book shop that I go to had to go back and look and see who the hell was this. Like, it literally is just a Kree representative from the Phoenix saga. Like, nobody very at all important. But it does paint a picture in slightly what may happen. Now, here's where this maybe could pay off. If it gets to the point where next year, when the Empire arc, which is basically what this is supposed to start and build that foundation for, depending where they go with that, this is either going to be absolutely worthless or at least had something powerful to do. Because when you buy this, you get to the end, you're like, oh, yay, Kree Skrulls. Kree Skrulls. Is it another war? Are they teaming up to go against us and Earth? Basically, it ends with mentioning the universe, the galaxy system, and bam. So, not real sure what exactly is going on. But, like a lot of people said, you literally probably could have done this whole story in probably a few pages in, like, one of the Avengers or X-Men issues. Because honestly, at some points, there's probably, I'd say, close to 20, 30 pages that are just people talking and, romancing. You have some gay love in here, and it literally at that point has nothing to do with this murder. So you get the murder, you get some story, then you have all these other stories that are going on in different franchises that have nothing to do with this. Then it comes back to a couple pages. Oh, this is who this person is. I recognize him. Then it goes back in the right field and goes, hey, let's start a new war. End. What? So, yeah, I recommend if you want to read it, borrow it from a friend, or honestly, just read it online or get a quick synopsis. It is absolutely not worth it at this point. And between these two, I'd have to ultimately go Incoming is the worst, but Absolute Carnage is not that far off. Two very disappointing ends to the year, and those that are supposed to change the Marvel future, along with the dawn of X books. Go figure. Well, that's pretty much it, buddy. I just wanted to thank you for checking out my video. I know it's been a little bit, but expect at least a video or two. Mixture of comic related, nerd culture, and some gaming clips coming up soon. I have done my first stream on Mixer, so if you want to check me out, right now I'm just doing a day or so a week until I can build up a schedule. As always, like, thumbs down if you didn't, subscribe for my shenanigans, and if you want my daily off-the-wall, what the hell is he going to post next type shit, you can always follow me at Twitter, at Vulsker. Until next time, peace out. Good balls! So, overall, I definitely recommend checking all these issues out. Don't give up. I know some issues have been a little bit a little wonky, but go all the way through. If you haven't started, do it. If you're in the middle, keep on pushing through. Definitely do them. Definitely do them. I'm going to try this. I'm going to see if this will work. Close enough, maybe? Fuck it.